this is Senova.
And this is Johannes.
And you are watching Board Gaming Ramblings.
And today we are doing a first impressions review of Starship Captains. This is a new game from CGE and from first-time designer Peter Hoffgaard.
It plays 1 to 4 players in about 25 minutes per player.
Yeah, before we go anything else, this is a review copy, and also
Yes.
I am an acquaintance of the designer. I wouldn't say like we know each other well, but we have been hanging out on cons and stuff, so just know that it will not have anything to say, but people like to know it, so they don't find out afterwards and be like, you
Absolutely.
people.
You people. You
Starship
people.
Captains is a science fiction midweight Euro game where you are
Starship Captains.
Yes. Or you're actually one Starship Captain.
Oh, I'm a
and
Starship
the other
Captain.
player is a Starship Captain. And that is why it's called Starship Captains.
Yes.
But if you're playing it solo, it's probably just Starship Captain.
Yeah.
But they don't change the name of the game.
It should be like a parenthesis S.
Depending on the number
Behind-
of players. Yeah, so Starship Captains, very brief overview, is kind of like an action selection, like worker placement-ish. But it's more action selection with workers and kind of an engine building. You're going to build up and be better and better at doing Starship stuff. Mostly what you're going to do is you're going to move around on this space map. You're going to get technologies to build up your spaceship to kind of like make your own combos and your own strategy. You're going to move around on the spaceship killing aliens or shooting them. They say you kill them in cold blood in the rulebook, but you shoot the aliens to death. And you will also then go to missions and complete different missions. There's a lot of like nice little names and things. It's a pretty thematic game, even though we do not look
cute.
at the theme. So briefly how the game works, this is what you do. This is how it works. You can have your own starship with different rooms. There's basically symbols in different colors, and those are different actions you can do. Also, some of the technologies you get will also be different actions you can choose, and they will also have colors. And you also have colored workers. So if I have a red worker, I can spend him to do, or her, to do one of the red action spaces. And the yellow can do the yellow, the blue can do the blue, and you have a gray cadet who can't do most of anything. He can repair the ship a bit, but you can also promote him if you have medals. Then you can promote him. So that is how it works, and that is what you do. So let's go over talking about something else than the overview.
Yes. Well, let's talk about the artwork and components. The artwork in this game I think is really nice. It's a little cartoony, and all of the different mission cards has like this
nice.
thematic illustration for what is happening. For example, the pet for the captain or something it's called has a picture of a crew member that is kind of being eaten by an alien pet. That is nice. The cards are a little flimsy. I don't really mind, but I've seen thicker and better cards in games. This is not one of the better cards, but I don't really mind. I think
they're mostly lying on the board.
Absolutely.
You shuffle them once at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, so I don't really mind. I think the different workers are of nice quality.
Yeah.
I think the 2-layered or double-layer player board is a clever way to solve it. You'd like take a player board and glue it, stick it together.
You get this kind of double-sided glue tape things.
And I really like how your workers like slide very naturally the way it should slide. We'll talk about more about that.
Because workers always slide, as you know.
I love the use of the multi-layer board in this game.
Yeah, I think that when I looked at the board without setting it up, it was like, oh, that's kind of bland and doesn't have too much on it. But you fill most of it with these mission cards, so it looks kind of colorful and nice. We're not much of theme, so if you want to like know more about the theme and how thematic the game is, we're not like the best channel to talk about that.
No.
But we do like rules. Because I like a game that has rules.
Yes.
This game has quite a few pages of rules, but there's a overview of all the effects. There are a rules summary. There are solo rules. That's 2 pages. But there's actually 18 pages of rules, and that feels like quite a lot, but there are a lot of pictures, a lot of examples, and pretty large text. So it might feel like a daunting game because it's not a complicated game and it's not a heavy game. So it feels kind of daunting from the rulebook, but the rulebook is very well laid out. It's not laid out, it's laid out kind of different than I'm used to. Because I feel like, oh, there's these different actions and I like you to explain me those actions now, please. But this is more, it is explained in the concepts of the game. So first it explains the setup, and then you have like the player setup, activating a room, how you use a room, going places, which is movement, damage, and repairs, the pirates, the text, the missions, how all of this works, more than the... So when I got to the next page, like, okay, this is how it's done, and then it was nice. There are no player rates. Oh, they are.
There are.
There are good player rates.
Yeah, very good player rates.
I'm so used to saying there are no player rates.
Yeah, just like I was just supposed to say.
I was thinking I was like, oh, there's no player rate, but that's fine because I never use them because I really don't use them because.
Yeah.
But there are 4 player rates, double-sided, pretty big with loads, all information. All
you need,
all the symbols,
I
everything.
like the player rates so much.
It was just that it was so clear from the beginning, so I never really looked at the player rate.
But it's nice to have them.
They are there and they do a good job.
Absolutely. So you also said there were little funny things in the rulebook, so it seems like it's well written with some humor and stuff. I like that. And next up we have player time and player count. We have played this game just with 2 players.
Yeah, because this is a first impression review.
This is a first impression review because we haven't played it with more. And
2 times.
We played it 2 times. We played it the first time it took 75 minutes.
Yeah.
The second time it took 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So I think...
And the box says
25 per
person.
player.
Yeah.
So I think like the first time it was just like it was the first time, but sometimes you get to do more in your game than other times, so it will depend.
Kind of cryptic.
Yes.
Let's dive into the gameplay.
Yes.
And we have kind of it's
a game.
But it is an action selection game, but you have the workers, so it feels like it's a worker placement game, but you don't fill up any worker places because you have to have the correct color to be able to do it. So it's kind of like it's a lighter, but it is a resource management game. You need to manage when you use the different workers because you need a red to move. But then you also, when you complete a mission, you need to fulfill them with these workers as well. So you need them for that as well. And if you fulfill them with the right colors, you will get bonuses. You can also use not the right colors, but most of the time you want those bonuses because even though there's like quite a few points on them, the bonuses make your game continue going on.
Yes, absolutely.
And more different things happening. So I feel like the resource management here, both in the workers, but you also have a cargo hold that holds pirates when you shoot them to death, and artifacts that you can either store for points, half a point, or you can spend them. We're going to talk more about that later. But you also, when you take damage, it goes in there, so you're going to have to manage the damage.
Manage the
damage from those spaces. So it's kind of like it has that light resource management, and for me it's puzzly enough.
Yeah.
So it is not like a very light game. It's like in a medium weight of that resource management of when you want to do an action. Yeah. And I really enjoy that.
I agree. I think the worker placement, which I really feel like it's not worker placement. I feel like it's
but
more...
you understand what I mean?
Yeah, of course. I understand what you mean.
But I'm wrong.
But no.
I'm
it's
correct.
Just like, it feels to me like more of a resource management. I could like have a yellow and blue and red cubes and be like, I'm spending this, and it's not thematic, but it feels very different from your normal worker placement game, is what I'm saying. Yeah. It feels more like a resource that you have to manage, and it really dictates the order that you do the actions in, because as you said, if you do a mission, you usually want to get something in return, so that it's not stopping there, because it's very little things you can do on your turn, especially the first 2. It's like, I got to do this, and I'm done now. What happened? And like more later in the game, you're building stuff up to be like, now I continue and do that and that. And
it's one of those escalating games. Yes. Like the second game we played, the first round took 5 minutes and the second took 10 minutes. Yeah. And then we spent half an hour on the last 2 rounds of the game. One thing I do like, it's not one of those worker placement games where you can do actions to get more workers. There's one bonus somewhere you can get them. There might be techs or missions that might give you them. I don't know, because we haven't seen any. We haven't kind of looked through everything. But the thing I like is that you get one of these gray workers, the cadets at the beginning, and you're going to get one at the beginning of round 3 and 4.
Yeah.
And those you can train up to using the medals that you can get as bonuses to change them into another color, and that differentiates how we play.
Yes.
Because we don't just, because we start with 2 of each, one in the ready zone that you can use and one in the queue that you're going to get the next round, and then you will end up having a different pool of these workers or resources, but there are workers there.
Yes.
Starship people on the starship doing
Crew.
things. The crew.
Yes.
That's a better word. Starship people on the starship doing things, or crew. I think
Yes.
crew is the better one. So I enjoy that thing that you end up making kind of your own strategy depending on which of these you get.
The workers that you spend go into the back of a queue, and that queue, when the next round starts, you get all of the workers that you have used, or the crew.
People on a spaceship that do things.
Yes, except for the tree that is on the back of the line, and sometimes that it
Hold
makes
the
for
line.
interesting choices, because you know that all my blue crew
People
is
who
in
do
the,
things on the spaceship.
yes, is now back in the line, and now I can only do things with the red and the yellow, and sometimes you have to think about that, but usually the things that you want to do is the things that you're going to do, because a lot of this game is about moving through the space, visiting the planets,
The place with planets.
yes, and doing these missions, and then I have to use certain color people to fly.
Drive around in
travel
space.
to the planet, and then I have to use those colors to fulfill the contract. As you said,
You don't have to, yeah.
You could use other colors, but if I'm going to spend crew to do those, I really want to get the bonus.
Yeah,
I think that is really nice.
Sometimes, let's say I could choose from getting 7 points and not getting one of the bonuses, or not getting 7 points for the contract. For the mission, I would obviously go for the 7 points, especially at the end of the game.
Yes.
There are kind of different things to do. You can go for the technologies. You don't have to do that. Some of the technologies, when you place them, have bonuses on them, so you can kind of get some extra movement, some extra medals, or some extra repair. Or you can move on different tracks that are like the track for the androids, the people who you are, and the pirates. I don't feel thematically that they feel different. For me, they're just 3 tracks.
Yeah.
They have a event on them, and like the pirate event is kind of meaner. The alien event is always a tech that gets available for everybody, and the cooperative one is basically a good event.
Yeah, for
and only
all of the players.
2 of them can get activated, and it triggers when somebody moves to a specific space on that track. But for me, those just like moving on tracks.
Yes.
If you're more into theme, you might be able to find it's saying like there's some diplomacy. So you're just like,
you're trying to get the things.
They get the bonuses and points. That's for us.
Yes,
that's for us.
that's
If you
for
are
us.
heavy into theme, you might think of it differently, but for me, it's just moving on tracks.
Yes.
But the thing is, it's not a game where I can go ahead and say like, oh, this game I'm going to go for tracks.
Yes.
Because most of the tracks
you can
get
say
from...
it, but...
Yeah, you can say it, and then if you force it, you will probably lose. But the thing is that most of the bonuses, most of the things happening, you get from the contracts.
Yeah.
So that means that if there's loads of contracts with moving on tracks, missions, it's easy for me to move on the tracks.
Yeah.
And I might go for that. Like the first time we played, I went pretty heavy for that. And the second time, I didn't really move on it at all. It was still pretty close. So it's not like you have to do this or this. You can focus on different things, different aspects of the game. But it's not like you can choose that from the beginning. It's more like it's going to be there. And every time a new contract comes up, you're going to be like, oh, I might do that one now because a new mission comes up. It might be I will do that one now.
Starship people that
if it's
works on the starship.
With the contract.
Doing starship things.
Contracts.
Yes.
Depending on where it is. I really enjoy... So it's more of a tactical game.
Yes.
It's what I would to end that than it is
Absolutely.
a strategy game. One thing I do like is the queue system for the contracts. The missions. Queue system for the missions. Do you like that?
Yeah, I like that. When you take a mission, will be another place where it will be marked that the next mission that will appear here. And when that has happened a couple of times, there will be more pirates that enter the space. I think the pirates are cool. You can choose to shoot them to death, or if you pause them, you have to take like damage.
They shoot you, but not to death.
They shoot you, but not to death. When you shoot a pirate to death, You get them in your cargo hold, and you also get like the bonus that it gives you, and managing.
And you take a damage.
Yeah, you take a damage as well, and sometimes like managing that damage versus pirates that it's points at the end of the game, and also the artifacts is an interesting puzzle, especially since the artifacts are really useful for getting extra actions, because you can't get, as you said, more like bonus workers. This is a way to get to do bonus actions. So if you have like 2 matching colors of artifacts, you can do another action, which is sometimes very important.
You will always, if you have 2 artifacts, you will always be able to do an action.
Yes.
Because all artifacts are 2 colors, and there are only 3 colors, so you will not always be able to do the action you want to do.
But you're always able to do something.
Yes, that is a way to get extra actions.
Yes.
And it's kind of like if you... I was like thinking about, so if one player gets loads of artifacts and others don't, they will be able to do more things, probably be able to get more points. And I think that is correct, but I think it's not something, and this is just, we played it 2 times, so it's a first impressions for sure. I don't think it's a thing that will happen a lot of times, because you need to have space for them. You only have 7 spaces. And the first game I did a super action. We're going to explain more about that soon, where I got 6 artifacts in 1 action.
Ooh.
And then basically gave me 3 more actions. And if you weren't able as well, you weren't able to get more of them, you would have been able to do way more actions than you. But also the artifacts are half a point. So if I spend 2 of them to do an action that gives me 1 point, it's the same. And you get we have gotten from 35 to 42 points in this game. So it's not a game, 1 point is quite a few of your points.
Yeah.
It's just 1. It can't be quite a few of them.
Yeah.
But it's not 1 point here and there is basically how the game is won. The contracts are 2 to 7 points, I think. So missions. I don't think you can play the game. You can't play the game without taking the missions.
Yeah.
So just to briefly go into the way you can upgrade people to commanders.
Yes, you can, as you said earlier, you can use a medal to convert a cadet, the gray, boring spaceship man that works on the spaceship, to become a color meeple that you can actually that you can use for more stuff. You can also upgrade the different colored crew to have a little
commander.
Yes, he can be a commander, and then he can do more stuff. So you can either do an action 2 times, or do different actions or different rooms with that commander. Or you can use him to boost one of the other crew member that you have in the same color to go in the active pool of the workers that you have available. Or you can do a last thing, and that is to double your mission bonus from that.
Yeah, the line of the color that you choose it for.
It felt a little different than I thought it would be. I thought,
or just the commanders.
Just the commanders,
okay.
Because when I upgraded our commander, I was just oh, now he's gonna be so powerful, and I'm gonna upgrade all of these stuff. 5 is the maximum.
Yeah.
But then I'm gonna be super powerful and do all the stuff. But then you really don't use that commander more than 3 times maximum. I feel like so.
And that is good if you get to use it 3 times.
But
that
I
is very
felt
good.
I'm going to be super powerful now and get many commanders that I use a lot. Well, you don't get many commanders, and you will not use them a lot.
Not the way we play it. If you're super good at the game, maybe you will.
Yeah.
I think one thing that we should talk about is the variability.
Yeah.
And this might be the thing that, and this is of course still first impressions, but my first impressions is that there is not too much variability. There will be different contracts, there will be different events, there will be different texts. So, and I really like the text, just to say that there are many cool combos you can find.
There's some final scoring there as well.
And if you get those 2 of them, you can get, this is a cool combo that I can use, and you can find cool combos. I always like combos in games like this, and it didn't feel all too powerful.
No,
it was
not
it was not like
small advancements.
It's not like Magic Gathering, where if I find a combo I will win this super combo and it will get banned. But to talk a bit about the variability is that, but it does get banned, like Cards of Magic, and you don't have to shoot them to death. But you change out the layout of the board, you change out the events, and you will get different technologies. But other than that, I think you're gonna do the same thing again and again, because you are going to move around on the map, you are going to do the missions, and the missions are always take the mission, place people in line, get the bonus, not get the bonus, use them up, and you're going to get some technologies which will change a bit how you play, what you go for. But it's a tactical game, and the tactical games, I feel like many tactical games have less variability than strategic games.
Yeah.
You can't like, oh, this time I'm going to try and go for this, because you are not like told to do things, but you are kind of like, oh, this is a very good start to start with this mission, and it kind of leads you down the route to try to go for that with other missions as well. And I think like if you enjoy the core gameplay, which I did quite a bit, I had a lot of fun playing it, then I think it really depends, because for me, that is not a huge part of a game. If I enjoy the puzzle and I enjoy the gameplay, then I can play it quite a few times without really needing to, oh no, I do something completely different. And especially since this is such a short game. Like 45 minutes, 2 players is great. And I spoke to Peter, he was saying, like, I asked him, like, do we need to play it with more before we say anything about it? And he said, like, it will change up a bit, but most of it's going to be kind of the same. So for me, I feel like I don't think I need to play this with 4. Because if you just add like double the time and not really adding a lot more for me than downtime, I feel like 3 players might be fine, but this is one I also think for me will be probably best with 2.
This is interesting. We haven't played it before,
haven't,
so this is only speculation.
Yeah.
But I feel like I can see on the map like, oh, I want to go there. I want to go to this contract, and maybe like I will go there. Yes, I will go there afterwards. And sometimes you can get there before me and destroy my plans. But I feel like it will be even more of that in a 4-player game, where it will be more interaction on this board. And I'll be like, oh no, you took this from me. Now I have to calculate a lot more. And I have to be like setting myself up for success, even though you take that card. I don't know if that will be more interesting or it will be just frustrating. But also you will go through more of the tech cards, see more of that stack in a game. Also different missions. So I think this, if it doesn't take too long time, it could be really fun with the puzzle that it brings when you have to account for more people destroying your plans, really.
Yeah, you have like a tiny more bit of that interaction on the card. On the map, I think the 3-player is the tightest, because on the 4-player map, there's another planet.
Okay.
So it's a bit more open, so I think 3-player might be the tightest in that. So really depending on what you want from the game. Let's talk about the weight.
Yes.
And we're going to add one more thing, and if you like it, let us know. And that is like, so this is a segment called Weight. And who is it for? So you want to do weight?
Wait!
Wait!
Stop for a minute. I thought that this seems like a lighter game to me.
Yeah.
It's not the lightest, but I don't feel like it's all the way into the medium stuff either. So I think like it's on the more medium side of light.
So medium light game.
Yeah.
Light medium game.
Light medium game. Yeah. What do you think?
I agree with you. And to answer who is it for, I think for me, this is just enough.
Yeah.
So
just enough.
If you but you know what I'm like. I had a lot of fun playing this game. I think it was a great game. I had a lot of fun playing. If you are mostly into 2-hour heavy Euro games, I think this will be too light for you.
Yeah, I agree.
If you are a family gamer or people who enjoy a bit more than the casual games, or enjoying like the light to medium games, you can play in an hour with 3 players. I think this might be just for you, because there are a lot of nice things here, a lot of interesting mechanisms, a lot of different things to think about. It's one of those like it was. Always decisions were fun, but not brain burning. So it's not that some light games we play, I feel like, oh, it's not interesting decisions. I just do this, this, and this. All the decisions here felt interesting and meaningful, but it's not a brain burning game.
I agree.
So let's answer the big questions. Is it fun?
Is it fun?
And final thoughts. For the first impressions.
First impressions. I had fun with this game. I thought the puzzle that it was, as you said, just enough for me to be excited by it. I agree, if we had only like 10 games in our collections and I would play them all the time, I'd probably not choose this game, because it has its limit to how deep you can dive into strategy and things you can do. But I think that the tech cards make this game fun and different from time to time, that I can be like, oh, now these 2 techs are there. Oh, this particular scoring goes well with my tech. Czech, let's try to do this now. But as you said, it's a tactical game, and it's a light game, so it's not the game that I will seek out to play the most. But for the groups that you just mentioned, I think like this will be a great hit. I think this is a good game. I'm going to rate it a 7.
I think it's a fun game. I think this is one I can play with many people who don't play heavier games, and you can introduce them to many different concepts. I think this is a great first design from Peter.
Yeah.
I would love to see him design more games. So and to get into the CGE game catalog, I think that's pretty cool. I had fun. I think it was a fun game. It was not fantastic, but it was a lot of fun. And it's one that, as I said, I will enjoy playing. We can play this with my parents.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit too much text, but because they don't speak too much English.
We cannot play it with my parents.
No, but we can.
But it's really not a measurement for anything.
No, that's true. But it's enough for me to make it interesting and fun, but not enough for me to be like, oh, I want to play this way many more times. But as I said, I think it's for the people who it's really in that genre and in that category. I think it's a very solid, great game. I'm going to give it a 7.5.
Cool.
And that's it. If you're still here and you haven't subscribed, you can do so now. Bye.
Click the subscribe button. It's fun and it's free. It makes us happy. Like this. If you want to do something that's not free, you can.
Go to patreon.com/boardgamingramblings and support us there. And that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Johannes.
I'm Cinema.
And you've been watching Board Gaming Ramblings, and bye-bye.